recently I had to fire somebody at work. I felt awful guilty. Okay, I felt bad. I've started thinking about it deeper and it really fucked me in the head. But something very interesting happened 2 weeks later. This person that I fired called me back and they spoke to me, "Hey Dhruv, can I get my salary in advance?" And that's when I realized that we were really functioning on two different frequencies. Okay, the other day I was at Bob's bar and I'd gone there with these two kids who had worked on this project for me. It was this art project. And again, while working on the art project, I was my usual professional self, right? Like completely work mode. Hey guys, we need to get shit done. Let's go, chop chop. When we went to Bob's bar, if you guys know anything about Bob's bar, it's chill, Bangalore, a lot of college kids, a lot of office guys, everybody's usually drinking a lot. And I just took them there for dinner and I was like, you know what, we finish the project, let's just loosen up a bit. So I showed them like my true self, right? Like what I'm usually like with my friends or my family. And they were honestly wowed or shocked almost because they were like, is this the same Dhruv Rao? And to be very honest, I've gotten that reaction a lot because when I used to play football, like on the pitch, I was just like, go, go, go. And like, I will literally kill you on the pitch if I have to, because I just want to win. That's all that mattered. But then off the pitch, I'm just like, hey, what's up? And a lot of people probably thought that is some sort of split personality thing. I have argued with myself, and you probably do too. Like, is this sort of work me and the real me balance really healthy? Is it good? Is it bad? That very same night, I'm explaining to these two kids how work works. Okay. So it's basically the idea of how the transaction of money works. See, when it comes to the transaction of money, there's no emotions, right? At the end of the day, you can be the busiest person in the world. You can have the most stressful lifestyle. You can have shit ton of problems going on in your life. What matters is execution, because this is a transaction of money. This is not emotions over here. I'm not your best friend. You're not my best friend. You don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything other than finishing the work, which is your part of the commitment, and me paying you, which is my part of the commitment. So getting shit done is what matters. On my way back home that very same night, I was really pondering this thought or this idea, like thinking deeper, is that really how this managerial style works, or is that the best way to manage people? I was watching this Jurgen Klopp podcast the other day, and in it he speaks about how you manage a football team. Now, if you don't know who Jurgen Klopp is, he's the manager of Liverpool Football Club, huge, one of the greatest clubs in the world. I'm a big supporter of them. But he speaks about how when you're managing a football club, you manage them in such a way that you meet them where they're at. They don't meet you where you're at. At least that is his style. And well, it worked because he's won a shit ton. But then I started asking myself, look, in a football team, there's 11 players. Sure, the manager of a football team can meet 11 players exactly where they are. But can you do that with 100 people? Can you do that with 200 people? 1,000, 20,000 people? That's when I start thinking about scalability. Do you think it's possible? Do you think a manager or the CEO of a company can meet 20,000 employees exactly where they're all at? It's not possible. It's really not realistic. So then you look at the biggest CEOs and managers in the world, right? Elon Musk, for example. Mission-driven management. Guys, we're going to the moon. Everybody's like, wow, that's something I want to work on, irrespective of what my emotions are or what I've grown up as. That's cool. I want to do it. Let's go for it. Or, for example, Sony Murakao, right? I'm probably butchering his last name, but the founder of Sony, when he started Sony, it was like, we are going to make products that make Japan great. Not Sony great, not make a lot of money, not build technology or change the world. No, we're going to build products that makes Japan great again, because Sony was built after World War II. That's mission-driven management. So then I started arguing with myself like, okay, this is like the management style that works. Let's try implementing this with my work and like my lifestyle. Like, okay, mission-driven. We're going towards something. Let's go. Everybody join on. Let's do it. But then the whole situation came up where I had to fire somebody. Now, see, when this came up, right, I felt a lot of guilt in terms of the family that this person had, the responsibilities that they had. This money probably, helped hold their home together. I don't know what they were probably going through. And I kept beating myself with all of those ideas. And the reason why I had to fire this person was because they just couldn't show up to work. It's not like they had character flaws or anything of that sort. They were genuinely a great employee, but they just couldn't show up to work. So for that very reason, I had to fire them. It was just maybe like bad timing. So then these thoughts of guilt, they kept going on in loop. Like, like, do you really have that much control over somebody's life? Are you like, what shit? How could you have done something like this? But that's what we do, right? We make hard decisions and we move on. That's life. This is when things get interesting. So 2 weeks later, this person calls me and they're like, hey Dhruv, some emergency has come up at home and would it be possible for me to get my salary in advance? Now that's when it all clicked for me, and I realized again the same idea that I was explaining to these kids. In the professional world, it's a transaction of money. If they were seeing things in that frequency, then why am I beating myself up for all these emotional ideas? So then we again come back to the question, does emotional management really matter? Like, should you really manage with emotion? So I come from the field of football, right? Like I said, Jurgen Klopp, I've fantasized about these dreams of becoming a footballer. I have played semi-professional. I look up to a lot of these people. And in the football pitch, it's like no mercy. You just go kill out there. You either win or lose, right? There's only one winner at the end of the game. So you have to go all out and really give it your everything. But then football is a matter of 90 minutes, right? Sure, maybe tournaments last for a little bit longer, a season, a year, but at max, it's a short game. But business, on the other hand, is a long game. When you build a business, you're not building it to become a success tomorrow and sell it. I mean, that might be what you're doing, for each their own. But in my case, business is a long game. I want to build relationships for the long game, not for this quick short wins. So when it comes to those sort of deep games that are really long, that can take decades, that's when emotional management and mission-driven management and actually professional management comes into the picture. So what am I right now? Am I emotional or am I like this professional type of management? To be very honest, I am leaning currently towards the emotional side of things. Not because it's good or bad, but just because I feel like in my own way, I'm avoiding accountability. And we all are, right? Like conflict, like execution is conflict, because a lot of times somebody might not execute and you have to conflict with them and get in some sort of clash with them and, get them to get things done. So when I lean towards the emotional side, maybe I'm more sympathetical, or I'm avoiding the execution, or like holding them accountable for something that they said they would finish. But that's where I'm at right now. This brutal style of management does not work for me, at least not right now. Maybe when I have a bigger mission in life or a bigger goal or thing that I'm going towards, then it might. But right now, I empathize with people. Work is paramount, but emotions, unfortunately or fortunately, I also think about right now. So then it's like, okay, how do we actually get shit done, right? If you're constantly thinking about emotions, how do you actually get people to get shit done? So I think there's some sort of balance again over there that you can strive to achieve, which is basically a line, right? Now, that line is basically, I'll meet you to a point, and after that, the work has to be done. It's just as simple as that. Like, I'll understand your perspective, I'll understand your emotions, but the work has to be done, irrespective. Because this person who called me the other day who got fired, they didn't call me for emotional advice or expressing their emotions. They called me because it's a transaction, right? So at the end of the day, your emotions, fine, okay, we will consider them, but are you getting shit done? That's what matters. So are you an emotional or professional sort of manager? How do you delegate stuff? How do you manage things? And have you figured out the balance between the two? If you have, then please do go ahead and comment it down below, because I'm sure it'll help me. Will definitely help somebody out there. And we're all guessing and doing this as we go, right? Like none of us really have the answers. And if you do, then it'd be shared to exchange. It would be great to just exchange it or share it and, see where things go from there. So that's the end of this video. If you do enjoy such videos where I speak about business, professional stuff, sales, marketing, all these exciting things out of Bangalore, India, building out of Bangalore, India, then go ahead and like and share and subscribe to this channel. That's the end of this video, guys. And until next time, bye.